is Abdul Rahman. I'm a lecturer at a public university in Kenya. I deliver lectures in computing and informatics. In our last sessions, basically we talked about control structures. And basically we categorized them onto four. We talked about the sequence control structure, the selection control structure, the repetition control structure, and the last session we had what you call a function call as a control structure. So today we are going to start up a new topic altogether. As we promised in our last session, we are going to talk about strings, and in our next series of videos into strings, basically we are going to talk about several of them. Today we are going to talk about introduction to strings, and then we are going to move on to reading and writing up strings, and then basically we are going to talk about what is the difference between the gets a method and the scanf method, and proceed to what's the difference between the puts and the printf method, and then we are going to do up what you call introduction to predefined string functions. And on to that, we are going to talk about the string length, string copy, string compare, string concatenate, and then finish up with the string swapping and string reverse. So today, our journey, we are going to ask ourselves what is a string, and onto that we are going to define what is a string, and then look at the syntax, and then we are going to implement. So let's start actually and see what is actually a string. So basically what we are saying, a string, it can be defined as an array. So a string can be defined as an array, and that particular array must be of data type character. So it is an array or a collection of characters together. So and it must be also a single, it should be a single element array. So it's a collection of single characters into a collection of an array. And a string actually must have what you call at the end of the day a null, and that particular null is represented by backslash and a 0, and this makes it very different from a character, whereby when you define up a character, it doesn't have one of its member as null, and this particular null actually represents the enter key. So a string also takes only one type of data, that is data type. So, and that particular data type must be a character. We cannot take any other data type. So basically that is actually a string. So that one now takes out onto the syntax of a string. So the syntax of a string, basically, as we have said before, the data type must be char. So we have what you call here a char, and then we'll have the string name, which is an identifier or a data or a variable. So here we'll have what we call a string name, and basically we'll have some square bracket, and this particular square bracket must have the size of that particular string. So this is how it is actually declared. So for example, I can say char name, and then I put size 20. So let's see what are the types of initialization. So string can be initialized into at least 4 ways. Let's see the first way to initialize up a string. It is writing up char, that is the data type, and then the string name, and then square bracket without putting up size, and then into double quotes we write up the string here, and then we terminate. So the second way of doing it, it is the same as we are writing here char, and then we've got up the string name, but here we're putting up the size, and then here we are saying actually it is the string itself, and then we terminate. The third way, it is putting up char and then the string name, and then after that we don't put up anything, the size, but here we can put opening and closing curly bracket, and then individual letters are put up on a single quote separated by a comma. So that is how you can do the third way. And the last way, the way we are supposed to do, is actually having the data type, which is char, and then you've got the string name, and then we have got the size, and then here opening and closing curly bracket, but with the size, and then you have got individual letters actually put up here. So these are the four ways you can initialize a string using up an array. And basically how they are represented graphically, it's very simple. So if here you have got so here will come up as S T R I N G, and of course the last part of it you should have the null value. So, and they are indexed from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So this is how actually they are indexed. So now let us take us back now, and we can see how we can implement. So in our implementation, basically we are going to write up a program that will show us how we can actually display a string into the console. So basically we're going to write up a program that will take up a string called hello and display it on console window. So display it on console. So basically that will be our implementation. So let's go back now into dev C++ and see how we can actually demonstrate it. So basically the first thing is to declare, and we have seen that how to initialize or to declare a string is just you have to have a data type called char. So you can have here char, and then our string name can be called message. So our string name is called message, and we should have this particular square bracket. So we can have our square bracket, and in one of the way to initialize out of the four, we can just put a no size, and then we put double quotes and can write the word up hello and then terminate. So this one will take us to the first initialization, and from here we can just basically have our printf, and in our printf basically what we can say hello. So with the hello we can put up a format specifier which is %s, and then say hello, and then followed by the word I am demonstrating a string. So basically that will be the message which will be there on the console, that I am demonstrating up a string. So it will be hello, which is represented by the message, and from here we have to finish up our message, put up our variable which actually holds up our message, and basically when we run it will say, hello, I am demonstrating. So the output basically will be hello, and then we'll have up our comma, then says I am demonstrating a string. So that basically will be actually our output. So let's run and see. So when we run this particular program, yes, it runs, and basically here it says hello, I'm demonstrating a string. So basically this makes up the end of introduction to a string. And however, don't forget to follow us and subscribe to our new videos. In our next video, basically we are going to take up the part 2, reading and writing up to a screen. Thank you.